Well, hello there, and welcome to CityLine in my kitchen. It's great to have you here. We have a wonderful show ahead of us. Later on in the hour, we'll be talking with Pink Tacoma. It is that time again where they are looking for volunteers and nominations for houses that need a little sprucing up, so you don't want to miss that. Metro Parks Tacoma, recently we had those beautiful lions lost their noses. So our third segment, we'll be talking with Lynn Danino and Michael Sullivan about the restoration of those noses. The Humane Society will be here to talk about their dog-a-thon. Ashley will be here, and it's going to be virtual, and you want to be a part of that. And then we'll continue on with our pet of the week. Victoria has a lovely animal who needs a forever home. And then with me right now, as I mentioned before, is two of my favorite people. They are here with the Rainbow Center of Tacoma. Please join me in welcoming their Executive Director, Mr. Troy Christensen, and their Director of Development, Ms. Rebecca Rossi. Welcome to CityLine, both of you.
Thank you.
All right, first off, Troy, if somebody's just moved here because it's a great place to live and real estate prices are affordable, and hey, it's Tacoma, and they don't know about the Rainbow Center, what is your mission?
We are a community center that focuses on the education, advocacy, and celebration of, for, and with the LGBTQ community. For advocacy, we do individual advocacy, and we also try to keep our eyes on what's happening legislatively. For celebration, we have the Pride celebration and the big gala that we have every year, as well as a few celebrations in between. And for education, we provide allyship training 101, as well as more detailed trainings for individuals and corporations that are interested in being better partners with LGBTQ people.
You know, I couldn't have said it better. No wonder you're the executive director. There we go. So also, I have to give a shout out to the Rainbow Center and also the Herman Law Group. Last week, two members of my family drove into this parking lot where Pierce County AIDS Foundation makes their home, and they were able to have their antibodies in their body tested to see if they had COVID-19. And that was a one-day event. It was free of charge. And it was the Rainbow Center and Herman Law Group and Pierce County AIDS Foundation. I hope I'm not missing anybody else, but what a gift it was to the community.
It was. Oasis Youth Center joined us as well.
There we
And
go.
we were able to screen more than 300 individuals throughout that day.
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful gift of health and peace of mind. Doesn't matter what kind of answer you got, because the truth will always set you free. So thank you for doing that. Thank you, thank you. I mean, I got to find out that somebody who is elderly in my life did not have COVID, and that was a good news to get. So thank you for that. Okay, so let's move into when the order came down, Troy, from our governor to shelter in place. How did that affect the Rainbow Center's services that you so beautifully described?
Most of what we were doing in person before, we now are doing virtually. We have virtual community hours Monday through Friday. We continue to have our affinity groups meet virtually, usually on a Zoom platform. Most of the meetings that occur between our advocates and our clients occur electronically or over the phone. So we've been able to continue just about every service we were providing before.
I love that. Okay, so Rebecca, now comes the big question. So now we're kind of chronologically, you can't see it, it's invisible, moving over to you into Pride. And of course, the Rainbow Center, this is their signature hallmark event, along with the Oasis Center and Pierce County AIDS Foundation. But no, I mean, when I think of Pride, I think of the Rainbow Center. So for people who haven't seen it, describe what it has been in the past, Rebecca.
Yeah, so Tacoma Pride is a partnership. Rainbow Center convenes a group of organizations. And in Tacoma, because we like to do things our way, July is Pride Month. So happy Pride to most folks, but July 1 will start our Pride Month here in Tacoma. Historically, we've had a large street festival the second weekend in July, which is known as Tacoma Pride, and then a month-long festival of other kinds of events, film series, speakers, other fundraisers, just peppered throughout the month of July.
And everybody shows up and everybody's voices, and we love it. So now let's get a dose of reality. How will it be this year?
Well, normally we gather about 15,000 people at Pacific and 9th Avenue, all through the street and into the park there. Well, that's not going to happen this year. And it became pretty clear a couple months ago that it just wasn't realistic to think that we might be gathering people in that way. But we still wanted to have some kind of visual expression of how large the LGBTQ and supportive communities are in Tacoma and what a big piece of the community we are. And so we just kind of thought through other creative ways, dependent on kind of guidelines from the governor of what we could do. So where we are now, we're in phase 2, which means folks can go out and visit businesses and restaurants and other places in small groups within guidelines. And that's what we're going to capitalize on for Pride. So instead of having vendor booths all along 9th Ave and downtown, we're going to have points of pride scattered throughout the whole community. And we're encouraging people to go with their bubble, their family, their small group, right? And show support to businesses and organizations that need it, that have been closed for months, and show their support of the LGBTQ community at the same time.
I love the phrase points of pride. Mm-hmm. Tell me that's going to be a t-shirt.
I don't know. It's not on one of the t-shirts. Our t-shirts are great though.
No, t-shirts are collector's items. I mean, you can see one from, 7 or 8 years ago and go, was that Pride? And, people want to buy them off your body. They're so amazing. But I am going to put in I want a rainbow and then points of pride. So what of these changes, Rebecca, and then Troy, I want you to come along and kind of add to it. Do you anticipate moving forward in subsequent years? Because, who knows?
Well, our affiliated events are going to go on throughout the month, and those organizations are going to get to choose how they will participate. And so it may be that some of those events remain virtual, or they add a virtual layer on to what they're doing. So I could see that. We'll see how businesses and organizations respond to the points of pride idea. It offers an opportunity for businesses who can't leave their storefront for the day to come down to Pacific Ave and have a table or a booth. It allows them to participate, right? And so that is a really nice addition, I think. So there may be some format in which we can keep that and allow those supportive businesses to show their pride and to celebrate with us.
Absolutely. Troy, what would you add to that in terms of the bigger picture?
I would say that we may never reach a place again where it's reasonable to gather 15,000 people together. So we will be learning from what we do this year to figure out how we can keep people safe, yet still provide a great celebration for the entire community.
Yeah. It makes me kind of sad to hear that, but it is truly the truth. And we're going to have to learn how to celebrate in different ways. So Rebecca, should anyone wanting to go to Pride, what do they need to know this year?
The biggest thing they need to know is www.tacomapride.org. So they can go to our website. We'll have information about affiliated events, times and places. We'll also have a map and a list of all the points of pride, so they can choose their favorite places and map out their day and then go ahead and celebrate. We really are encouraging people to follow all the guidelines that are in place, right? So it's really nice to be able to be out, but as we're out, following masking guidelines, distancing guidelines, being really as understanding and kind and respectful to those businesses and organizations as they can be while they're patronizing them for the celebration. That's all really important.
Absolutely. I hope that you film this so people can virtually see the points of pride in case they can't physically make it down there, because they can still give a donation. We're always open to that, aren't we, Troy?
Absolutely. Pride is one of the areas where we raise part of our budget each year, and it's essential. The one other thing I want to add about this year's Pride is the entire country and our community is facing something else that's new, that's right now. And we want to make sure that we have a space for that. So any of the points of pride that want to integrate Black Lives Matter into what they're doing that day, we're encouraging that. We're being as nimble as we can to try and weave that into our social media, into the messages that we're sending out to the community, that the LGBTQ population also represents and is the Black and brown community. The Stonewall riots originated from mostly Black trans women, and we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. And we need to stand proud with them, and we need to make sure that we are all together as we move forward.
Absolutely. So well said. So, Troy, when I think about in this last minute and a half of what's next for the Rainbow Center, you have some events, as Rebecca said, that may look different. What comes to mind after Pride?
Well, we're still trying to figure out how we're going to do our annual gala this year. It's an event that usually pulls together 550 participants. You add then the convention center staff and volunteers, and we're up to somewhere between 600 and 700 individuals. We don't know whether we're going to be able to safely gather that many people in a small space by November. So we are looking at a variety of different scenarios that would allow us to have a smaller event and then associated events. That event raises for the Rainbow Center. We net a couple $100,000 each year that is required for our operations. So we have to be able to figure out a way to still hold that event, still have people feel like they're part of the community and that they can give and support the work we're doing.
Absolutely. Well, I know that from my experience with the gala, the Rainbow Center is beloved. Rebecca, you and your team do an amazing job at that gala, and Troy, your leadership is unparalleled. So we're just going to cross our fingers and hope that something will show up. And if not, we're going to open our hearts and open our wallets, and we're going to donate online. And that's what I have to say about that. I also want to say thank you to you both for being here today and taking time out of your very busy schedule, and for the love and the generosity that you and your teams give Tacoma 24/7. I don't think there's a time that neither one of you don't wake up in the middle of the night and you're probably thinking about what more can we do for this community. So as somebody who has a beloved wife, thank you for making Tacoma such a great place for LGBTQIA to be. And good luck on your Pride.
Thank you.